if I don't provide good customer service, I ultimately don't have a business. Like when I was younger, like early 20s, you have this plan, you have this timeline of what you think your life should be and where you should be at. And it was just like, oh my God, I didn't do this. Like I didn't graduate from law school. Like it was just so many things that I felt like I was supposed to have done.
Yeah.
Like, what? And then COVID happened. And I was like, girl, if you don't talk to people, you're going to have no clients. 2020, there was a lot of support around small businesses, around minority-owned businesses. But that's with anything. Like, trial and error. I just had to accept that you're not going to be excellent the first time out. And you have to embrace that. You have to embrace the critiques, the criticism, and use them, to your advantage just to help yourself grow. And as I'm growing, I'm starting to realize I can't do everything myself.
Turn on these speakers, let's go. Time for the ServiCEO. Learn the ropes, grow and flow. This is how you'll start to glow. Business tips and secrets share. Every lesson shows they care. Real success is in the air. Listen close now, don't be scared. Welcome to the...
Hey you guys, welcome back to the ServiCEO Show, your go-to for all things entrepreneurial. I'm your host, Porche Unique, and today we're diving deep into the business world with our special guest. Get ready to immerse yourself in their journey, their work, and their incredible products. Throughout the show, we'll be getting to know them on a personal level, giving them the platform to showcase their achievements and the amazing products from their brand. And hey, make sure you stick around until the very end for a special mini tutorial where we'll be showing how these savvy business owners bring their visions to life. Because let's be real, we're here to remind you why you chose them in the first place. Okay, so let's talk about it, and I'll see you on the other side. Love you guys. Mwah.
Welcome to the ServiCEO, where your dreams will start to grow. Tune in every single show. Watch your confidence all glow.
Welcome to episode 2 of the ServiCEO Show, where passion meets purpose. Get ready to dive deep with me, your host, Porche Unique. Today, we're bringing you another amazing guest. She is one of my favorite techs with over 12 years in her industry. She's been featured in Baltimore's Voyage magazine and nominated for Best of Baltimore in the Beauty and Wellness category. She is the founder of MIKU Beauty Studio and owner of Brows by Shakura. Let's give it up for my favorite brow tech, Shakura.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me today.
Wow.
I'm super excited to have you. You are my second interviewee.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's super exciting. Thank you. So how are you feeling today?
I'm great. I'm so excited.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm excited to have you. So first we're going to start with the icebreaker.
Okay.
Right? And so before we dive deep, let's get into this icebreaker. So I have a game called Tell Me More.
Okay.
And so basically, it's just a game to kind of get to know each other a little better. And I think it's a good, it's good for everybody, honestly. I think it's good for entrepreneurs. I think it's good for people in relationships. I think it is a good game for, friendships, building friendships, or just getting to know people a little bit better. And so basically what we're going to do is I'm going to pick a card and you're going to pick a card. So we'll both pick a card and then you will read it. Yours aloud. We'll answer it. Okay. You'll answer it. I'll answer it. And vice versa. Like, that's how we're going to do it.
Okay.
So you understand what I said? Because I feel like I just said a mouthful. All right. So we're just going to pick the card that's on top.
Okay.
Same here.
What's something you're in the process of outgrowing? I think my shyness.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think you're shy?
I'm very shy.
You be shy.
Well, I think it's because I've been around so many people and being in the service industry, you are a lot of people you don't know. So I think that's kind of like initiating, like, okay, you got to talk to people. Like,
Do you typically go to like networking events?
I try to make them, but my schedule is so crazy. So it's like really making the time to like go and plan for it.
Well, thank you for making the time for me today. What's your busy schedule? But yeah, I think that, so originally for me, that was a thing. Like, I was super duper shy, and I'm still kind of shy. I'm like getting back into the swing of things. And so that was one thing that worked for me, is just getting out and putting myself out there, and just, I don't know, just that just helped a lot, you know, just going to networking events, different networking events, and just like really stepping outside of my comfort zone, walking up to people. Like, it was completely like, you know, but it definitely helped me a lot. So I recommend that to people just when you're trying to break out. So just fitting that time in there, because my time is short too, so it's been hard for me to kind of do that. It's where I've been wanting to. I've been telling my best friend and like a couple other my friends are like, invite me out, you know, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to jump back out in the world, and I want to go to these networking events because I know there's so many other people out here that I haven't met yet, and people that I know that is like, where you been, what you doing, you know, that kind of thing. So, okay.
Yeah.
So your shyness. So what, can you read again for me?
What's something you're in the process of outgrowing?
So something I am in the process of outgrowing is honestly just my old ways.
Okay.
So just really stepping into a new era, you know, a new me. You know, in my 30s now, and
me too.
30s is different.
Very different.
I think it's good though. I'm enjoying it, but just, you know, just reintroducing myself to the new me and to the world. So that's just outgrowing the old me.
You know, I feel like.
Yeah. So we're going to get into the next question. And so mine is, when was a recent moment in which you felt deeply happy? Oh, that's sweet. So I'm thinking about it. So I can say when I turned 30, I truly just felt different.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I keep going back to my age, but
no, I feel that though.
Just like the moments approaching 30, I just was super duper grateful for the opportunities and just everything that God kind of, you know, just protected me from on my way to 30, and just exposing my mind to certain things. So I think that was a really eye-opening and like happy moment for me. Yeah. How about you?
What's the question?
When was a recent moment in which you felt deeply happy? I know it's a recent, but we were.
I mean, you can, like you said, like I get those happy moments all the time. I definitely get happy moments when I'm on vacation, because it's like I can leave my brain. You know, everything you got going on.
Yes, girl.
You leave it.
Have a good vacation.
Sometimes you need a reset. But I think the same thing. Like even coming into my 30s, like now I'm 32. So when I turned 29, I cried like real bad.
Yeah,
like, oh, like that's my last year.
Well, I didn't cry because I turned 29. I cried more so just because of all the blessings.
Yeah.
Like that's what made me emotional, like approaching 30. But yeah, I understand you was nervous about 30.
I was nervous, and it was like everything. Like when I was younger, like early 20s, you have this plan, you have this timeline of what you think your life should be and where you should be at. And it was just like, oh my God, I didn't do this. Like I didn't graduate from law school. Like it was just so many things that I felt like I was supposed to have done.
Yeah.
Like, what? 30? You ain't got no kids?
Come on. Like, seemed like a joke.
You know?
Okay, we think we got it all planned out, and then it's saying,
it's crazy. But when after I turned 30, I was like, what? Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here. I made it. The things that I did accomplish, like, I was definitely very, very grateful. And I was talking to my parents one day, and I was like, I don't know how y'all were, like, married and had kids, like at 32. Like, what? I want to be, like
how you do this?
And it was like,
but shout out to all the moms, all the parents out there holding it down.
Like, y'all are amazing.
Yeah,
the way y'all barely making it sometimes, like forgetting to eat dinner, like But so shout out to y'all that's working at y'all businesses and families and kids, because it's really a lot.
Absolutely. Okay, well that was so good. Did you have more or?
Like I said, I have those happy moments all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just honestly being intentional about the things that make me happy.
Absolutely.
And just placing those like in my life daily.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and mention the topic. So today we'll be talking about professionalism and workplace etiquette. Ooh, how you feel about that topic?
It's so important, like being in the service industry.
Yeah.
Even though you're an entrepreneur, you're still a service provider.
Mm-hmm.
And customer service is just like a big part of my job, my business.
Absolutely.
So if I don't provide good customer service, I ultimately don't have a business.
Absolutely. I love that you said that because that's exactly what this show is all about. Okay, customer service. We're here to enhance the customer service. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at some of her work. She has some really great brow work and makeup. I did not mention makeup in her intro, but she does makeup as well. So let's take a look at some of her work.
So the first one, this is lamination and sculpting. This is just a brow thread, cleaning it up before the tint. So this one here, we have lamination in the first. We're in the process. It's actually the second step, the neutralization. The second picture is a soft beat. The third is lamination and sculpting with tint. And the fourth, is lamination, no tint. All right. So the first is just a thread and tint. The second is a makeup, soft beat, and the third is just thread with a light pencil fill, and the fourth is lamination. The fourth is thread and tint.
So your artwork was very beautiful. I love your work. Hence, I come to her to get my brows done. Period. But I wanted to touch on makeup. You are also a makeup artist.
Yes.
So did you start out doing makeup, or how does that work?
So I started makeup. I was always interested, but in 2012, I got hired with really, really big makeup retailer.
Okay.
So of course, like the initial interest was there, but that like grew because now you're training with like pro artists, you're training with brands. So it definitely escalated. I stayed there for about 6 years.
Okay.
And then around 2019, one of my coworkers actually introduced me to bridal makeup. So I kind of transitioned from like just a freelance to going into bridal makeup for another company. They were a little smaller local company, but they were kind of freelance artists. So I was just strictly bridal makeup.
Good.
And then COVID happened, and you go from having like all of these weddings scheduled, and for weddings, they schedule them like early. So I had schedules for September and January.
Oh man!
But then COVID happened, and everybody's wedding was like postponed or canceled. So that definitely like had me pivot into brows.
Wow, I never knew that. I knew you did makeup, but I always see, the brows and stuff on your face for the most part. I think I see a little pop of makeup here and there, but yeah. Okay, so that's good to know. Okay. I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell the audience about yourself. Tell them who you are, the name of your business,
Okay.
where you're from.
Okay.
Okay.
So my name is Shakura. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. My business name is MIKU Beauty Studio, but my social media profiles, you may see me as Brows by Shakura. My business is Brows and Beauty. I also teach. I do individual classes, one-on-one classes, group classes. I'm working on online classes. Like Porche said, I, of course, do brows, makeup, did lashes at one point.
Oh, wow.
That's not coming back. But
Tell us more. Why?
I think if you are a lash tech, it's because you really love it. Because one, it is time consuming and it's very tedious. everything is tedious, to an extent. But lashes,
So the passion just wasn't
it
there.
just wasn't there.
Okay, did you do your own lashes? Or you get them done?
Well, these are little like clusters, so I can do these.
Oh,
But the
that's
individuals,
individual.
like like, I mean, I would try,
Yeah.
but I know.
Yeah, I get it. I feel it. Okay, so you got more, or is that it? That's all you want us to know for that? Okay, that's good. So, why did you choose the name? And you actually go by 2 names. So, give us a little background on MIKU Beauty Studios, and Browse by Shakura.
Okay, so Browse by Shakura. Shakura is, of course, my first name. Funny story. Around 2017, this is where the initial idea came. I was just too scared to actually start. But my nickname is Shay, so I had a page.
Shout out to the Shay.
I had a page that was Browse by Shay, but I never started the business, never did anything. So I used the page for something else. You changed the name and all of that. So fast forward, 2020, and I'm like, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna do this, and I go to start my page and somebody got my name.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll just use my actual name. So that's where Browse by Shakura came.
Okay.
And then when I was looking to get a name for my business, because I didn't want it to just be my name, because I always had the idea that I would build a team. And I wanted to have a name that represented, something aside from just me.
Yeah.
So that's
something
where,
that just kind of separates you from the brand.
even though MIKU, it came about as part of my name, but I liked the name of it. I didn't hear anything like it before, and it was easy for people to kind of pronounce. I didn't want anything too extravagant where they're like, how do you say this?
So do you think that eventually you'll get rid of Browse by Shakura altogether once you start to build your team?
Well, I created another page, a studio page. I know, I did create a studio page because for products and things like that. And then if I do build a team, I would want everybody to have their own page, because just if you go to a nail salon, right? They may have a nail salon page, but
different techs have
their own pages, and they tag their, whoever the associate artist is. So that was kind of my idea. So I don't know if I would ever really get rid of my name, because now people are oh yeah, go to this girl, Browse by,
they know you as that.
I don't want to change it, because I know what that feels like when you're searching for a person and they done changed their name and you're like, where you at?
I think I had that problem with you initially. I was like, where is her page? Which one is it?
Yeah.
And I could obviously remember MIKU's Beauty Studios. I could remember that. But Browse by Shakura, I was like, where? So I was like, well, which one is it? But no, okay, so I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. Cool. So when did you start doing Browse, and how long?
So I learned how to thread 2015.
Okay.
And that was so random. I was still working at the retailer, and one of my coworkers there was like, hey, I'm going to this thread class, you should come with me.
Wow.
No interest, never really thought about it. But I did like to do brows. I like to fill in brows, so when clients would come in, they're just like, oh, give them to Shakura. For brows, give them to Shakura. She likes that, because they had a hard time. And that's when the brow craze was real intense in 2015. Some of y'all probably suffered from the heavy box brow. That was around that time. So when she introduced it, I was like, okay, I'll do it. Picked it up same day. I was like, okay, of course you still need to practice. But even still, it took me 5 years to actually put it in motion. And again, it was trying to just pivot, because makeup, we were all still wearing masks, so nobody was really wearing a full face of makeup. So, but your brows are on full display.
And so it still worked out.
Yeah.
So that's when you made the pivot. Could you say what year was that?
That was 2020. So I thought about it 2019, I still wanted to do it. But I was thinking in conjunction with makeup.
Okay.
I offer makeup, but I will also offer brow services. But then when COVID happened and everything shut down, and when everything was opening back up, I'm just like, okay, well, makeup, when we want to get the makeup done, you got to put a mask right over it. So I was like, okay, but just brows, I had no clients, no pictures, starting from zero.
Yeah. So what was that experience like?
Humbling. But it was so crazy. Today is actually my anniversary. So like 4 years exactly. Yes, like I took
today, y'all. That is so exciting. We get to interview her on her anniversary day. We don't take a shot or something. Celebrate.
That was crazy. I mean, like, again, like when I said the shyness, and I was like, girl, if you don't talk to people, you're going to have clients.
Yeah.
And so when I'm thinking about where was I going to go, I wanted to go into a suite. Like, I had these grand plans. And then I was like, how you going to a suite? You ain't got no clients. Like, how you going to pay for the suite? So I got on Facebook, I got on Instagram, I made flyers with like a crazy promotion for like $20 for thread and tint.
Okay.
And that's when like I started to get some people coming in, because again, I was in a salon, and I was in a salon, and I was going around to different salons just to try to find a see what the booth rent was like. And of course I really like, okay, they got clients, they have pictures. I'm just like, no, girl.
I just thought of the job.
No, I'm just like, but I know how to thread, like, sometimes a day. So I did that. I found a salon, and she was like, well, we can do commission because I don't want you to get caught up in having a lease and you know, you don't.
It's nice of them.
I was like, okay. So we did that. And honestly, for like a month, I was like, so let's just talk about booth rent because I don't want to do commission no more because you're taking about half the project.
True.
But I was still really grateful for it. And that little promotion that I did, it allowed me to get a lot of clients in and practice, because if you're not really used to working on different people, different types of brows, you need that practice because you're going to get some really just different, situations. So that was, that's kind of how it started.
That's how it started. So you started in the studio, in a
salon.
Like a hair salon.
A hair salon.
Okay.
Like in the back of a hair salon.
In the back of a hair salon. Okay. And so I do want to point out how you made the effort to go ahead and search for clients. Like, you were like, hey, I know how to do this thing. I need some people. I need some people. So I'm going to go ahead and do whatever came to your mind first. And that was to go on Facebook and, create your flyers.
Yeah.
And so how did you go about creating your flyers?
So I think I was using Canva.
And this was in 2020.
This was in 2020.
Right. Okay, so Canva was different.
Yeah.
Canva was different in 2020 than what it is now, but it was definitely different in 2015 than what it was in 2020.
Yeah.
So Canva really expanded and got so much better, like easier to use, because it was very complicated if you are not into like graphic design and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's I went, and I don't even know how I found Canva. Just like probably searching like how do you make like really simple stuff. Google how you make a flyer with some good sites, free sites, because again, like, we're not making no profit, so we need the cost very low. And I was trying to do as much as I could by myself, and luckily I had a friend that was able to do my logo, and she did my first website.
Good.
I paid her, but she was still looking out.
Yeah. So is it the same logo that you had?
It's the same logo.
That's all right. Yeah. Look, I keep looking over there because y'all, she got her door frosted and she got it on her rug. She had a lot of promo going on here, but we have our business card here. I know y'all probably can't see it, but that's her logo. It's very cute. So this is the logo that you're saying she created, and you just been rocking with it ever since. It's really cute.
So that was
very simple, straight to the point,
and
let you know I'm here.
Yeah. In 2020, there was a lot of support around small businesses, around minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses. So I got in a lot of those pages, a lot of those like chats on Facebook, and started just like putting all of my work, any picture that I took, any flyers that I had, I was just really, really consistent in adding those to every page that I was a part of, just to get the exposure to as many people.
Good. And you talking about you shy, but that's behind the camera. Behind the phone. You behind the phone and in person, it is two different things. It is. It is. So I understand, but it still takes, some type of oomph to even do that, to even reach out to people, because you never know what people going to say. I mean, even when I was talking to my best friend, about you, and I was like, I don't know, she don't want to do it, but I'll ask her anyway, it's just like just getting that oomph out, and everybody that I have asked thus far has agreed to do it and has shown up, so I'm grateful and I love that. So yeah, shout outs to you. So we have over 12 years in your industry. You got 9 years threatened and 4 years as a business owner. How does that make you feel?
Where is the time going? You don't even think about, because you, in retrospect to your age and everything, it's like, where's the time going?
I know. It all just moves so fast. 12 years, you wouldn't even think, hey, I've been in business 12 years.
What?
I can't even get past that 10-year mark, what's going on here? So how was your experience? How's the experience been overall?
Definitely a lot of growth. But that's with anything, trial and error. I just had to accept that you're not going to be excellent the first time out, and you have to embrace that. You have to embrace the critiques, the criticism, and use them, to your advantage just to help yourself grow.
Absolutely. I really struggle with, just making sure that everything is done right the first time, or just done right overall. And so that's something that I'm really learning to do, is just kind of break out of just being that super perfectionist. Of course, I'm still not putting out anything that's not quality. For everything, I'm coming with it. I'm going to always come with it, but I'm learning to, to not just be so hard on myself and be like, okay, no, that's not right. That's not right. And just going there, just fix what I can and then just do it, whatever it may look like.
Yeah.
So how do you go about taking time to perfect your craft? Other than just having clients, do you take any other additional classes, or what does that look like for you?
So for brows, I do. I take classes. Recently, I've taken a tattoo class.
Okay.
I took the first one 2021.
Okay.
But I think certain skills you still need to develop your skills. Makeup, I still take makeup classes. They all may not be in person, they may be online. And then I research. I look at other artists and I look at their techniques and the products that they're using. Sometimes with the brands that you use, they may offer some classes or tutorials or something like that.
Okay.
So I always I'm in it.
I love that. That's important.
And even for my own work, I'm that one that's going to zoom in, see, I should have got that hair, I should have cleaned it up a little more.
Your own work.
So you have to do that.
Yeah, you have to. It's important. Just making sure that you are never, you never think you're too good. That's what I want to, make a point to. It's make sure you're taking those classes, the free ones, take advantage of all the classes so that you can just enhance your skill and never think that you got it, because in the beauty industry, everything always changes. It evolves. It has evolved, y'all. It's like she said, the box brows. We went through that, not using the right color concealer for your skin complexion, all of those things many years ago when we thought we knew what we was doing, or just tapping into makeup. So yeah, it's definitely important to keep enhancing that skill. So I love that you are doing that. Tell us more about Voyage magazine, if I'm saying it right. It's not Voyage, is it?
No, it's Voyage.
Okay, so they're not being fancy and Voyage. I don't know. I'll try to add extra. I was like, okay,
Lord, accent on it.
Voyage. You gotta be extra. But no, that's just me being extra. But yeah, so tell us about the feature in Voyage magazine, and also you're a nominee for Best of Baltimore in the beauty and wellness category.
So with Voyage, it came to me, I felt like it was random, because I didn't feel like I was in a space to be featured.
Okay.
But the lady who was in charge of getting the rising stars, because that was the category that I was under.
Okay.
Just reached out to me hey, we were introduced to your profile and we would really like to interview you and how you started and, your whole story. So I was like, what? How you find me? Yeah. I'm always interested to feel how you find me?
Yeah.
Because one, I don't feel even though I'm on social media, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. So I'm always like curious, like, how'd you come across my page?
Always hard on ourselves.
I know.
Always.
So that's how that came about. And I was so happy that I had the opportunity to do that and just express my story. Because I'm always trying to encourage people to just step out there. Like, it's not that bad. It's not scary. I mean, it is, but you know, you're going to be okay. Like, you just got to do it. And once you start, like, you find your rhythm.
Yeah, you just gotta do it.
And then with the Best of Baltimore, I think this is like the 3rd year that I was nominated.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to my shout out to my clients for, you know, voting for me, because most of the time I don't even know when it opens.
Okay.
And somebody sent it to me like, you on the list. I'm just like, oh. So that's, you know, people just put you in there.
And so you said that the submissions should be coming when? Because you told me a little bit about that.
So it ended, I think, like end of May or early June.
And the results
are going to be in August.
Oh, okay.
So I won't know till August.
Okay,
so we'll see.
When she win, hopefully that would be very good, and we don't have to touch back.
I know, but even still, like, just to be nominated is just
a big deal. It's a big deal. It's not something small. I'm glad that you sent that to me and let me know, because it's definitely a big deal. So shout outs to you, and shout out to our clients for looking out, because you said you weren't familiar. You didn't know.
You know, because it's not something that I see it, I know it, but
like, you didn't sign yourself up for it.
Like, I love to be recognized, like, because it does, like, make you feel really good, make you feel like you're doing a great thing. But that's not my only focus. Like, my focus is, you know, providing really, really good service to my clients and future clients.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay. So now we're going to go straight into it. We're going to discuss the topic. Okay. So again, today's topic is professionalism and workplace etiquette. And how do you feel your professionalism is?
I think it's good.
Okay.
I think, of course, like, some of the clients I've had since I started, so they know me a little bit more. I know them a little bit more. I know the kids, you know. So even though we always keep it professional, always keep it really cute, but you know, you're just a little bit more comfortable with them, so they're a little bit more relaxed, and so are you. But you know, I still provide like top tier customer service, and it's always been like that. Even dating back to like my retail days, because again, I was working for a luxury retailer, so you know what, you talking down to like no chip nail polish, like you need to have some lashes on, like just like you need to look top tier. You need to be able to talk and speak to people, you know, one in a respectful manner, regardless of how they're acting, you know, and you need to address things in a certain way. So I've always kept that type of mentality. I'm going to business for myself. So even when you're dealing with a client that's not so nice, and you need to know how to address it, set your boundaries, but in a respectful way. So
absolutely. And love that you said that. So would you say that your professionalism was like, you built it upon that during while you were working for at the retailer, or did it just come natural?
My parents work in a space, like a political space. Okay. So, you know, you are a child, you know, that's around like politicians, you know, you need to act a certain way.
Wow.
So, and I went, like, the high school I went to was very strict. It was a college preparatory school. So, you know, you were just a little different, like, in how you address things and how you act. And so that was always kind of a natural thing. So when I started working in that retailer, I didn't have an issue with some of the requirements that they had, because I was never like out of character. I'm get yourself together. So it was very easy, and then I just adopted that same mentality, those same strategies, just working for myself, because I see that it worked. You know, you don't just become a luxury retailer and you got your employees acting crazy.
For me, I've been in customer service for over 10 years, and I wouldn't say I knew how to act, you know, like I had some cool about me, but me, again, back to the shyness that we were speaking about, I wasn't so open and able to, what do I want to say? Like,
my professionalism just wasn't there. It wasn't that I was like rude or anything like that, but I just didn't know what to say and how to say it to people, necessarily. In a retail setting, so I worked for a retailer myself, and I really acquired those skills during that time, and just seeing how people respond to things, and how I would want to be treated if I walked into an establishment, and those things. So I just kind of picked up on those things over the years, and that is what helped me be better at customer service. But and we can talk about, a little bit of workplace etiquette too, because those two kind of, the professionalism and workplace etiquette kind of tie into each other. I can even say for like over the phone and everything, I noticed with you, you always make sure that you communicate, you always, really, you always make sure that you respond to your messages, and if you don't get to it, you always apologize. Even today, she apologized because she was on the road and she's like, I'm sorry, I was driving, but it's those little things matter, and you have to do those things in this environment, in any environment where you're dealing with customers or clients. So it's very important. So good. And so give me some examples. We'll go with that. Give me some examples of how you exemplify professionalism and workplace etiquette.
Okay.
In your business.
So it's okay. I have two stories.
Okay.
So one story, this client had an appointment, and she missed it like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So, I try to give like a 5-minute grace period. But, 10 minutes, I'm like calling like, hey, you still coming? She didn't answer. So I'm like, okay. And she goes to me, and she walks in like 30 minutes later. So depending on what the service is, my appointments run every 30 minutes.
Okay.
But because I manage my time so well, I typically don't have like, my appointments are rolling. So 30 minutes, like when you come in, like your appointment time, I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
So when she came in 30 minutes after her appointment, now you're in somebody else's spot. And because I'm appointment only, like if I don't have a spot for you, I can't fit you in because I'm not going to take you over somebody who's already here, who already scheduled. So she comes in and she's just like, so when can you take me? And I'm just like, hey, like actually you missed your appointment, so I'm not gonna be able to take you today. And she's like, well, I just drove 45 minutes and so like what can you do? And it's just like, I'm sorry, like I don't have, a slot for you. We can figure out a time for you to come back to reschedule. I can let you know if I have a cancellation during the day, but I can't fit you in over somebody else's appointment. And this particular client was like very frantic, like, and started crying. Like she was like really going through it. But again, like, these are my rules and this is what it is, and you agreed to it when you made this appointment. And the appointments are self-scheduled through my website. So you schedule this appointment for this particular time, and I don't, traffic happens, and if I can make those accommodations for you, I will. But if I can't, I can't.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what was like the end result of that? She just
left. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we rescheduled like maybe 2 weeks later.
Okay.
But you're just still respectful, but you have to set those boundaries.
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
the policies are the policies.
Yeah.
You try to be flexible. I try to give grace, but when it allows.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, definitely. Me the other day, luckily she was able to fit me in, but due to some traffic, those things do happen. But as customers, we do have to be respectful of their time and just making sure that you communicate. I'm on both ends. I'm on the entrepreneur side and I'm a customer, I'm a client. And so you do have to make sure that you are responsive and communicating, because if they're taking the opportunity to reach out to you, which they should be doing at all times, let's not forget that every entrepreneur, business owner should be reaching out to you to let you know, hey, if they're running behind or if you're running behind, and for you to update them. So with the client, where she was wrong at is just not picking up the phone when her service provider was reaching out to her. And you want to make sure that you're communicating and keep that communication open, because she could have saved her a trip had she answered the phone and, you know, just let her know, like, hey, I won't be able to service you because you'll be going into somebody else's appointment. So both of us just making sure that we keep that open communication with our clients, our clients or the service providers, just letting them know, like, hey, I'm running behind such and such time. Are you going to be able to take me? You know, because if not, then I can go ahead and figure out something else. So yeah, just let's always keep that in mind. Okay, so I want to talk about some do's and some don'ts, and I just kind of gave away a few, right? So were you finished? I'm sorry.
Because I think it's another story, but it's very similar.
Oh, you had two stories. So go ahead, tell the story. Come on.
Okay, so I was a part of a platform that allowed service providers and people to like have a subscription, so you could, you know, try the spot out. It's beauty and wellness, basically. So I was on there, and I'm like, okay, this is a good way for me to reach other people, other clients, and I think I had a client that she was like from Florida, and she was on, oh my gosh, a contract, like a nursing contract.
Okay.
And she was just explaining how hard it was to find service providers, like whatever state she goes to. So she started using this particular app. So I was like, oh, this is a good idea. Like, so I'm on this app, and I get this client, and she came to me one time before, and this next time that she came, she texted me like in the morning. Her appointment was later that afternoon. She said she was sick. So I'm like, okay, first, I don't want you to come if you're sick. Like, stay home. So she was like, well, can you know...
Was this pre-COVID or...
This is after COVID.
Oh, okay. She will be getting crazy after COVID. I would say it's COVID. No, nobody play about it. Nobody being sick.
Like, you're sick. I'm stay home. You know, we'll reschedule you with this app. You can't cancel same day. Like, you get charged.
Okay.
So I was asking her, like, go on the app, see if you can reschedule. She said she couldn't. So I was like, and if I was to say, okay, she missed an appointment, I still get the same amount of money. But I'm like, I don't want you to miss out on your money. I don't want you to miss your points. Like, I'll reschedule you for 2 weeks on my end. So I rescheduled her for 2 weeks. 2 weeks come, her appointment's here. She's not here. So I'm calling, I'm texting.
What's going on?
Nothing. The next day, she texts me like, hey, LOL, I missed my appointment. Can I be rescheduled? No. That was actually the rescheduled appointment that you missed. And, you know, now I'm not going to block you from booking, but you're going to have to reschedule. You're going to have to book another appointment.
A new appointment.
And then she just went off like, oh, you can't look out.
Was this a regular or?
So I think she's only come to me like maybe 2 times before that.
Okay, so
like,
how many times do you have to come in order to be considered a regular for you?
For me, I honestly think if I see you like 3 times, or if you come like every month,
okay,
for, you know, like 3 or so months, I'm like, okay, you're pretty consistent with, you know. But if I see you maybe like once every 6 months, I may still remember you, but it's just like, okay, maybe it's a special time that you're coming to get your brows done. So everybody's brows don't grow the same, so I get it. But for her, I was like, you know, and I had to explain to her, like, it's not about the money, because that's kind of the angle that she was trying to get to. Well, I guess since you got paid anyway, and it's like, it's not about the money. It's about, one, you respecting my time, and then you respecting my business, because, you know, the way you handle things. And I don't know, I'm a person that if it's a serious situation, like, don't text me LOL, because
absolutely that's all that was running through my mind right now as you were talking. Absolutely.
Like, don't text me LOL.
Why are we laughing?
Because it's not funny.
It's not funny because, again, you miss out on money.
Yes.
And you also,
and that's the thing, like, when you don't show up like for your scheduled appointment that time, I can't get somebody else in your seat. Yeah. So
at short notice.
So that time I'm literally doing nothing. Like, I'm not, you know, because I can't go anywhere because I probably got a client right after that, and I don't want to inconvenience somebody else asking them to come too early because. So I think to always consider that. Like,
okay, yeah. Well, that's something for y'all, our viewers, is to keep in mind, and again, just consider people's time, you know, and I get it. Life happens, and life just moves fast sometimes. So we do. I don't know about y'all. I don't know how you forget about an appointment though, because I'm a service girly. I like get my services done. So if I'm booking 9 times out of 10, I'm coming. Like I knew when to come.
I get the reminders, text messages, emails.
As she definitely is on that. Like her platform, whatever platform she uses, it sends out automated messages. So the day before, the day of, you get multiple messages and emails just updating you like, hey, your appointment is coming, your appointment is coming, your appointment's here, so those things. And that's important to have your stuff on autopilot, like have everything automated, because that will help you and your business so much more. It just will help you thrive, and it takes the stress off. Exactly. It's like the words right out of my mouth. Just it takes the stress off of you from having to keep up with everything. And does it send you reminders as well?
It does.
Like to let you notify you?
I have it linked to like my personal calendar, so I can see like every appointment, because you match all your stuff together. Yeah. But I get an email every morning for my appointment list. And
so I was just talking to somebody recently, and she was telling me that she don't get reminders, so she literally has to go to her calendar and check every day. So you got to have those things on autopilot for your benefit and the customer's benefit. We want to make life easier for both of us.
Yes.
I did get to talk a little bit about how I found her, how we met, kind of thing. I don't even remember how long I've been with you, but it's been about 2 years, 3 years maybe. It's been a long time. But pretty much, long story short, I found her on Instagram. I was looking for a brow tech, and I think I had just moved from Baltimore, so I wasn't living in Baltimore anymore. I stayed out Baltimore for maybe about 2 years, and I ended up moving back to my side of town, which is DC. I was searching for another brow tech because I worked with someone previously, and I think I just was kind of over her style and how she did brows. Oh, the other thing is that I can't take the waxing. The waxing breaks me out up here, and so I was looking for somebody that threads, and I think my best friend was going to someone that threads, but I don't know why I wasn't able to make it to them. But I think I want to say it was probably Vietnamese women or something like that. I don't know. I think they were foreign, and I think I'm overworking with them in the general sense, because I just like working with my people. I do try to give them a chance, opportunity, and it's just easier to communicate with them and get my point across on what I want. So I just really was searching the internet and seeing who does threading, and of course it's not popular. At least for us, nobody is really getting threading. A lot of people are more so getting like waxing and stuff done, and my skin is very sensitive, so it can't handle that. So when I ran across her page and I saw that she do brows, I saw that she did a great job, I'm like, oh, let me book her. Oh, she out Baltimore. Okay, so I got to go back out Baltimore, and so
as soon as you left.
Yeah, as soon as I left. So it's like, okay, so I'm constantly traveling back and forth to Baltimore to get my brows and my hair done, because my hairstylist is out here too. So shout outs to my girl Janine. But yes, so we can go back into the do's and the don'ts, some of the do's and some of the don'ts in professionalism and workplace etiquette. And so one thing that I have on my list is always be polite and always keep your place clean. So that has a little bit of professionalism and workplace etiquette. You always want to make sure that your place is presentable, for your clients coming in, for the next client coming in. And how do you feel about that?
I feel the same way. Like, I don't want to walk into nobody's dirty space, especially when I'm getting a service, provided. And I think like brows, I think lashes, makeup, like all of that is a luxury service. It's nothing that we necessarily need, but so you want to feel like you're in a nice, clean space. So, and you want it to be a reflection of your business. So,
So it definitely adds to the experience for sure on the customer end, but then it also makes you look better as a business owner because in that your place is presentable, it's set up nice. Like presentation is everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
And you only get one first impression.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget that. Okay. So that's why you always want to be polite as well because people remember how you treat them, how you treat the person the first time. Not the second time you come out, oh, I apologize. Like, no, people remember how you treat them the first time. And so it's always important to keep in mind to be polite to your customer and customers being polite to your service provider.
Yeah.
Okay, so another do I want to talk about is it's always important to make sure that you are describing the products that are being used primarily to your new customers and your new clients. So if you're utilizing you do Tint, you want to kind of talk about the product and just give them a little bit information on what you're doing and why you're using it. And I would say that it would be best to, kind of explain like whether it's hypoallergenic or not, those kind of things, just keeping in mind that we're talking about putting the application on your skin.
Yeah.
Some people do need to keep in mind that if they are sensitive, that they let you know as well. But how do you feel about
No, I feel the same way. And if you have like a booking site or automated site, like you can ask those questions. Like, do you want a patch test? Have you had brow tint before? So if I do get a new client, I do ask like, hey, have you had tint before? Like, do you dye your hair? Because a lot of times, really crazy, but I get people who's like, oh no, I can't dye my hair, like I get really bad allergy, and I'm just like, oh well, you most likely can't have brow tint. So you have to ask those questions because people they don't correlate the two. So I added that, like, do you want a patch test? And a lot of times people are like, no, girl, I'm alright, do you? Even when I'm explaining like the steps that I'm doing, or a lot of times they don't care, but
I think that people don't understand.
But I still explain it.
I think that's good though, because some people will not ask questions but have questions, you know, because again, we're talking about humans here. We're shy, maybe if I'm coming to you for the first time, I might not know all the questions to ask. So that's why it's important, to kind of just let people know ahead of time, which even if they don't ask.
Exactly, even if they don't ask. So, if it's a new client, I'm starting a brow service, I may ask like, hey, how do you normally wear your brows? Do you normally groom them? How do you groom them? Do you use wax? Do you use thread? Do you use razor? So you need to kind of ask those questions to get the information that you need, and you can't just expect people to just give you everything. So,
that's good. That's a good point. And so my last do is to be sure that they understand what services they selected so that they are surprised at the end. So I think that that's a main key factor into just making sure that your clients know what they're getting, because sometimes people get things, they book for something and that's not what they wanted. And I know I've made those mistakes in the past, and she's like, you can just book the brow service basically by itself, and I always would book the lamination included. And so she's like, girl, no. And so thankfully, this is how good Shakura is, because she never overcharge, like she'll make sure she's like, okay, no. But some people will be like, no, that's what you book, you have to pay for that service because that's what they were expecting. But in actuality, she's handling it the right way, because if I did not book for that, why would you charge me for something that I didn't get? But even though you were expecting the funds, sometimes it's an L that we have to take as business owners, and we do take a lot of L's. But I finally got it right. I corrected myself, so I don't book the wrong thing no more, because I think I said lamination, but it's the tint. I can't get the tint just because it just doesn't last for me. I do want to try to hit a brow, so maybe I'll do that next month or something, but we gonna see.
I think that's a really big do, because sometimes they just trying to get the appointment, and even if you have a lot of services, some of them may seem very similar. So they just like, well, I'm gonna just ask when I get there. So I always lead like, hey, so I got you scheduled for whatever the service is. What are you looking to get out of it? Like, what do you want your brows to look like? And then from there, I can kind of like, okay, no, so let's do this. Or if they book a tent and they're just like, but I really want them to last for like 3 weeks. I'm going on vacation. I'm be in Mexico. And I'm like, let's do a henna because it'll last a little longer, you know? So you kind of, one, know your services and know how they, you know, will work for your client. So you can kind of engage that conversation.
Sure. I love how I got these do's and you just bounce it right off of them. It's so good. So some of the don'ts I'll just talk about here is, so never start without greeting your customer or client, of course. So you got to greet them. You never go and pick up your client from the waiting area and just say, oh, come on,
Follow me.
Excuse me? Cancel the whole appointment.
Where you taking me?
Cancel the whole appointment, because I don't know, you always just want to make sure that you are treating your clients the way that you want to be treated. So you have to always keep that in mind. Granted, us as business owners, we go through a lot too on our day-to-day, so maybe today wasn't such a good day for us, whatever the case may be. But you still have to be polite to your client because they're here for you. You know, they're here to help you, not you help them. They're here to help you. So we are trading a service for, you know, but it's still, at the end of the day, we always have to keep in mind is to look at it as we need our customers and not our customers need us.
Yes.
Always. And so the next don't I have is never have a client or customer waiting on you without an explanation. And so we kind of talked about that a little bit, but it's very important to keep in mind that you just need to keep that line of communication open. So if you're running behind, because there's times that, you know, us as business owners run behind as well, and, you know, you try not to do it so often, I'm hoping, but
it happens.
It happens, you know, things happen. And so you have to take the initiative to reach out to your customer and say, or your client and say, hey, I'm running a bit behind, instead of just leaving them in the blue sky and having them waiting, or sending somebody that maybe it's your assistant, or, you know, oh, she'll be here at such and such time and she didn't show up. So granted, if this is somebody that you go to on a regular, more than likely, if they don't do this often, you know that, you know, and so you can kind of give them some grace, you know, but just keep that communication open. How do you feel about it?
I feel the same. Like, you know, there's times I'm running 5-10 minutes behind, and I'll send a quick text like, hey, I'm running a little behind. I'm running, you know, about 8 minutes behind. And, you know, they say, hey, it's fine. Or I'm running behind too. Like, you know, just to let them know. And if they're here, I go out and greet them and let them know and offer a beverage or something like that. Just so they know, like, I'm not ghosting you. I'm just, you know, you got to keep the communication open.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, I think that my main reason for picking this topic was because I do appreciate how, you know, your workplace etiquette and your professionalism. So it definitely was very fitting, and she's not lying, y'all. This is her. This is how she is on her day to day. And so my last don't is never assume, and I already talked about this. So never assume that the customer or client needs your products or services. Instead, treat them as if you need them and want them to return. So my first episode was on customer retention, and so that just goes back to that, because again, hey, the way you treat your client, your customer, is everything. And it will depict whether or not they will return or not. So we want them coming back, though. We don't want, you know, we don't want them to not come back. We want the returning clients, because those are the clients that's going to get you new clientele as well. So how do you feel? Let me know.
No,
do you agree?
I 100% agree. Like, I have clients. I have like the grandma, the daughter, the granddaughter, like come and say, you know,
that's good.
Sometimes they don't even know. Sorority sisters, like once, it was so crazy. I had one that was sitting on the side with her henna, and one came in and she was like, girl, what you doing here? You know,
that's
you
cool.
know what I'm saying? So, and you don't even know, like, the people, how they're connected, you know? So again, how you treating people, their first impressions of you, everything. So you just want to make sure that you are always putting your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
Hey, you guys, I'm super excited that you stuck around until the very end. Get ready to see a live demonstration of how these savvy business owners bring their visions to life. Make sure you keep your eyes and ears open and don't miss a beat.
I'm going to start by just cleansing the brow first. I like to use witch hazel because it doesn't sting the skin. It's an astringent, so it gets rid of all the oils off the skin and any brow makeup or any makeup in general. The client's wearing some. And she came in with clean skin. And then we're just going to brush the brows in place to get a good look at her current shape before we mat the brows. For mapping, I prefer to use white chalk thread instead of charcoal because it's less messy and I can see the lines clearly. So I start with the baseline right in the center. We're going to get those 3 points just so we know that they're even on both sides. Then we start with the bottom. Just let you know the brows shouldn't be any lower than right here. They kind of start about right there. And same thing with the top. And then these are our shape lines. Then I may go over it with a pencil just to clarify that line a little bit. Before we set it up and get ready to thread. So we're about to start with the thread. Okay. So I like to start with the bottom line just to clean it up because that really starts to define the brow. And you want to make sure when you are threading that your client is holding their skin pretty tight. One, to ensure they aren't experiencing a lot of pain, and then two, so you don't pinch the skin accidentally because the skin on the eye is very, very thin, very sensitive. So you can easily get the skin caught in the thread and pinch or prick the skin. So client holding top and bottom is extremely important. Again, we're going back in with the witch hazel just to clear off that mapping string so we can get a good look at the brows to see if we need to adjust anything before we move on to the tint. So for the tint, I'm going to use Brow Code's Hybrid Stain. 2 drops each. And then I am going to do 2 drops of cream developer. And then just mix thoroughly so everything is blended. All right, and then we're going to start applying to the brow. I prefer to use an angle brush because you can go along with the curves of the brow a little bit easier. When you are applying tint, you want to do it in a patting motion just to make sure that the color actually gets through all the hair so you get a nice even color display. And as I move to the front, I add less product because we want that nice soft ombre look. And you just let the color sit for about 10 minutes. And then
For
we'll
the full
remove
video
it.
and more exclusive content, be sure to join our Patreon. The details will be in the description below. Now back to the episode.
So now we're going to focus on the CEO trending topic. And so the CEO trending topic is basically just a post from social media that I have selected, and we will discuss it, break it down, see how you feel about it. If you agree with it, disagree with it, whatever comes to mind when you first watch the video or the post, whatever it may be. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's get into it, girl. So we just gonna pull it up. Oh wait, let me turn the sound on. And so
I've been there. Been there.
Just to let the audience know what the post is about. So it just says, when your first client of the day cancels last minute after you struggle to get up and be on time. And so you said that you've been there before. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
So on Saturdays, I start at 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. So
Super early.
On a Saturday. So
On a Saturday.
So yeah, I've had that happen to me, and you're already here. Like, you just, it sucks, but you just find that time to be productive, you know? Like, if you need to restock something, maybe edit a video, like, you're not going to get that time back.
Yeah.
And you think about, like, I could have been asleep extra 30 minutes, but
it's over.
But it's over. It happened. But yeah, just find that time to be productive. So that's kind of what I, have that time to do. Maybe edit a video, schedule a post that, maybe I want to post at 12 o'clock, but I know I can't because I'll be working. So just find that time, fill it with something productive. That would be
good
my thing.
advice.
It sucks, but it happens.
Yeah. So you've had a client cancel on you. Your first client cancel on you before.
Like, it's, most of the time it's something that they couldn't help. Like, I have a couple clients who are police officers, and they may work like an overnight, and then like one time,
types of clients. Okay.
At one time it was just like something like about a body or something like that, and I'm just like, okay, I know she ain't coming, but it was nothing I can do. And sometimes a client may oversleep. It just happens, So
okay, so it happens to the best of us, y'all. So use that time to be productive and don't let the time get the best of you, okay?
It's always something to do.
Okay. Very so now I want to just go ahead and close it out. So we're going to close it out with one thing that you will implement in your business to improve it.
One thing there's so many. But one thing, like we were talking about social media. Even though I'm on social media, I want to be a lot more consistent.
Okay.
Especially with all these new features that's coming in, like really being able to utilize those. And as I'm growing, I'm starting to realize I can't do everything myself.
Yes, ma'am.
So something I want to implement is just allowing other people to help me.
Yes.
And not to say that it's just like free services, but you may have to pay people, So really, of course, finding, we gotta mesh. We gotta have like some understanding. But I'm coming into that space of like, I need to kind of branch off, and I can't do everything, especially when you're trying to scale up and you're trying to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm having a little bit of issue with that right now as I'm doing something completely new. Whereas when I was doing what I was doing in the past, where I was on like photo shoots and video shoots and stuff like that for other talent, it was really easy back then for me to get people together and create content together before content was content. But because before content was really a thing, I used to bring everybody together and just be able to give them the opportunity to film or shoot. It could be for personal reasons for me or for the other person, and giving them images and stuff to add to their portfolio. And so that was me outsourcing back then, but outsourcing now looks a little different because I'm doing something on a larger scale and that actually requires other people. So other assistants at expertise in areas that I'm knowledgeable in, but I don't have all of the time to do. So that's something that I'm transitioning into as well, is I don't have so much of an issue of allowing people to help me. It's more so of finding the right people that align with me. And that's been my struggle right now, like as I'm venturing back into the space, because of course I had some people that had been with me for a while, and then things just change over the years, so I have to just find other ways or other people. And, of course, everything is so expensive these days, but we got to figure out how to incorporate those, that budget for our business expenses and stuff and such.
Yes.
So yeah, I love that you said that. So, and one piece of advice that you would give to new or aspiring business owners?
And just start.
Period.
You gotta start.
You just gotta start.
You won't grow until you start.
Absolutely. That was perfect. That was actually perfect, because I was just talking about that with a friend of mine recently. Excuse me. You just gotta start. You just gotta do it. You gotta do it scared.
Yeah.
You gotta do it with no money.
Unprepared.
You just gotta do it. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I'm excited for you all to see my growth throughout this journey. This is a journey. This is episode 2. And yeah, I'm just starting. I'm just doing the work. So good. Those are really good. And so what can we expect from you moving forward?
So, like I said, in this phase of growing and expansion, I'm going to be launching a retail line, hopefully fall 2024.
Okay. And that is what?
Just so browse. So most likely online and available MSB. I want to get to a point where
what is MSB? Not to cut you off.
No, in my suite. I'm sorry.
Oh, in your suite.
Yeah,
I thought you said MSB. What you talking about?
Most likely will be my best.
Oh,
MIKU.
Okay.
So, cosmetic retail line with the products that I use.
Okay.
So a lot of the products that I use, for the pencils, the gels, and stuff like that, I already use it. It's just not available for people to purchase. But I already use my own products.
Girl, that's easy right there.
So, and a lot of times clients well, how can I get this look at home? What do I do? And I give them.
How can I keep it going? When I can't make it to you? Yeah.
So I'm okay, maybe it's time.
Yeah, it's definitely time.
And this is something I've been working on probably since 2021.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's gonna be good then. So I can't wait to see you drop that.
Thank you.
In fall 2024, look forward to her cosmetic line dropping. Okay, and so how can the people connect with you? Let's stay connected with you.
So social media, Browse by Shakura, that's on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok.
Okay, you on TikTok?
Are you not
on TikTok?
I'm not.
Okay.
It's just the work. Y'all not gonna see me dancing. I can't dance,
okay.
But it's just
I don't think I got a lot of under my stuff.
I got a little one thing, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's how you connect with me. And yeah, that's
okay.
it.
So Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Yes.
Browse by Shakura.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Well, that is all we have for you today. I thank you all for watching, and you can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok. I don't know if I'm going to do Facebook, but so far we're going to keep Instagram and TikTok. And if I do Facebook, it's all straight the ServiCEO. So that's THESERVICEO. Okay? And bye, you guys.
See you.
Have a nice one.